Hey, what's going on everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Star Wars Coffee, where in today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at some leaked concept art for the original version of Episode 9, Colin Trevorrow's Duel of the Fates. That's today here on Star Wars Coffee.
I have spoken.
Hello there to all of the returning subscribers, but if you're new to the channel and you're just finding me for the first time, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button on this video and any other video from the channel that you check out, and be sure to hit that notification bell so that the bell is completely filled in, as this is the way you will never miss a new video the second it goes live.
Do it!
The Rise of Skywalker has officially crossed the 1 billion mark, and we're gearing up, winding down the theatrical cycle for the film, and then we're going to start seeing TV spots promoting the home release, and when that's going to come out, probably sometime within the next few months. But before we get to that, Colin Trevorrow's version has been making the rounds as well, with the leaked version of his Episode 9 entitled The Duel of the Fates. He had completed an original draft and submitted it to Disney before he was being released from the project, and that full concept, I have a video on the channel for that, and I also have a video going over Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, and I put it all together in a full movie for you guys to go check out. But what we're going to do in today's video is take a look at the concept art for his version of Episode 9, and this stuff is ridiculously cool. I was debating on whether to show it or not, and then I thought, well, I'll share it with you guys because I literally keep going back to look at these concept art pieces, and it is really phenomenal. So we're going to get into that, and if you guys want me to redo my full movie version and add these concept arts in place of the pictures that I currently was using, let me know with a comment in the comment section. You can hit me up on email, you can DM me on Twitter, anything you want to do to see if you want me to remake that with all of these great concept pieces. But with that out of the way, let's take a look at this. So this first image we have is Rey with her double-sided lightsaber on a Star Destroyer. And what's really cool is this double-sided lightsaber is actually a hybrid of her staff and the Skywalker lightsabers, and that's just ridiculously cool to see. Would have been really awesome to see in the theatrical version and that come to live action. As you can see in this image, she's clearly already done her business with these First Order stormtroopers, taking them out and moving on. Also, Rey in an all-black outfit as opposed to an all-white, so we got that opposite in the actual Rise of Skywalker that we ended up with. Moving on to this next image, it looks like we have Byssk Kova, the Resistance traitor from that concept script, being executed with a light blade gilly-tone on Coruscant in front of a lot of people, all of the individuals, and then you can see over to the right all of these First Order stormtroopers and what looks to be the new head. I was wondering if this was supposed to be Phasma, even though we know she met her end in The Last Jedi. Whether Colin had finished his script before that or not is I'm unaware of. But either way, this concept art is just mind-blowing. Moving on to another cool one. This is Rey doing some more Jedi training on Korolev with Luke. And as you can see Luke over here, we have this great, what would have been excellent visual in live action of Rey and Luke training on Korolev. And this was one of the really cool things we got to see in that script, so again, be sure to go check that out. And it would have been really cool to see if we could make this film, get everybody signed back on for this film and put it in place of Rian Johnson's The Last Jedi, make this the second one, just tweak the ending a bit. That would have been really cool to see. Alright, and so this next image we have is the crew flying to Bona-Din, where Poe lived with his grandfather. So rather than Poe being a spice miner and being on Kijimi with Babu Frik and Zori Bliss, we would have this different city of Bona-Din where Poe had been living with his grandfather. Again, really cool concept art, very Star Warsy with the mountains and all of the lights in the city and the water. Would have been very excellent in live action. Next one. Poe and Rey pilot a razor sail through Bona-Din waters, chased by the Knights of Ren and the Knife Nine. So in the original version of Colin Trevorrow's Episode 9, the Knights of Ren didn't ride around in a Night Buzzard, but rather they rode around in what is called the Knife Nine, which is also a really cool looking ship, as you can see, very aptly named. I think I prefer this ship to the Night Buzzard, but let me know what you guys think with a comment down below. I just think this looks a lot more sleek, a lot more intimidating, because in the original, I guess, canon version of Episode 9, the Night Buzzard was a ship that they found and reconstructed and just kind of kept going in. So this next one we have is Tor Valum, which you can go check the script out for that. Really would have been a really interesting character. A lot of interaction with Kylo in that script. And then we move on to Kylo fights with Vader during his cave sequence. So Colin was going to do something that we saw in Empire, where Luke went into the cave, fought Vader. This would have been Kylo Ren going into the cave, fighting Vader, and getting his butt whooped really easily, because he is not Vader despite his attempt at being Vader. So this concept art is one of my favorite pieces. As you can see, Kylo has his signature lightsaber with Vader, and Vader clearly has the high ground in this. I'm not sure if that was intentional or not, but it was just something that I noticed. Wanted to share that with you as well. So this is another cool image of the First Order occupied Coruscant. Reminds me a bit of Bespin, just the way that it's laid out here, with that big rail in the middle, and then we have this big Star Destroyer type of architecture, along with the Attack of the Clones kind of looking architecture in that first city there. Really awesome. Moving on, we have Rose, Finn, 3PO, and R2 attempting to activate the beacon on Coruscant to broadcast Leia's hologram to the galaxy. So in the original Episode 9, Rose had an excellent arc, a really good character arc, much more than what we saw of her in The Rise of Skywalker, and would have probably done her character a lot more justice post The Last Jedi. Would have made her character a lot more redeemed in the eyes of a lot more fans. As you can see, this concept art, Rose is taking the helm here, with R2 and 3PO off to the side watching, and Finn kind of helping to guide and handing tools. So probably would have been another one of those callbacks to The Force Awakens, where he has no idea what he's handing Rey, except this time it would have been Rose. Moving on, R2 and 3PO roam the streets of Coruscant. This would have been echoing back to Return of the Jedi when they're back on Tatooine, going to the Hutt Palace. Would have been really cool to see. Nice architecture, just really good visuals. I think this would have been excellent visuals. So in this next one, Finn rallies the citizens of Coruscant underground to fight back. This concept art, you can see this image of Finn clearly is looking like it's from Takodana from The Force Awakens, where Finn's screaming after he sees Kylo take Rey. But it would have been really cool to see. This would have been the same part of the arc where Finn was with Rose, 3PO, and R2. And then we move on where we have Rey faces a monster outside the fortress of Mortis. So Mortis would have been brought into live action, excuse me. And that would have been really cool to see that be brought in. And that would have been a lot more arcing around Kylo, but Rey with her double-bladed saber here, as you can see. Another kind of echoing back to a Return of the Jedi bit where Luke would have had to escape out of the hut. And this kind of would have been mirroring that, paying homage to it. Then we're moving to underground Coruscant, where citizens are painting and preparing old walkers. And what this would be, again, is that same part of the arc where Finn, Rose, 3PO, and R2 are, and trying to help rally people around the cause. Another really good concept art. All of the colors would have been excellent to see in live action. Would have been visually spectacular movie. I just got to keep reiterating that. And so this next image, we see these painted walkers that they were doing underground of Coruscant that the citizens painted. And then we see defected stormtroopers and Coruscant citizens cheer around old painted First Order walkers. So now being utilized against them, as you can see with the actual First Order here. These are definitely not your typical walkers. But it's really another visual thing. This kind of looks like the Night Buzzard actually put onto a walker if it was painted silver. Looks really, really cool. Moving on, we see some stormtroopers prepare for battle against Coruscant citizens, and this makes sense. Obviously, this would have been taking place in battle. All of these stormtroopers, concept art, would have been very murky, very cool. Moving on, in the Battle of Coruscant, R2 is destroyed, R2's head is scorched, emotion like we've never seen before from 3PO, Finn is speechless, he is crushed by it all, and Chewie takes R2's scorched shell onto his back. And Colin Trevorrow was asked about this on Twitter and made it very clear that his script did not kill R2, he was just damaged and would have to be repaired after the battle. So, fear not, R2 would have lived. And this next one is one of my favorites, absolute favorites of this whole bit. It's awesome. So Rey and Kylo fight at the peak of the temple on Mortis, and Kylo's new mask is visible. After he would have gotten and destroyed his old one, rather than repairing it, he would have ended up with a new one in Colin Trevorrow's Episode 9. And we just gotta sit here and look at this. This is awesome. Double-bladed lightsaber versus Kylo with his cross-guard lightsaber. Would have been visually stunning to the max. Would have been really awesome. I'm sure would have been extremely well choreographed. And then we move to another really, really good one, where Luke blocks Kylo's lightsaber with his hand. So, Force Ghost Luke would have been a lot bigger part than the 1 to 2 scenes we got from him in The Rise of Skywalker, he would have been continually haunting Kylo in Colin Trevorrow's Episode 9, rather than just aiding Rey once in a while in The Rise of Skywalker. And so this next image still shows no love for Hux in the sequel trilogy, and once it becomes clear that the First Order is losing the Battle of Coruscant, General Hux, who has been collecting lightsabers throughout the years, pulls out a purple lightsaber and just puts it through himself. So that's another way for Hux to die. I like that way even less than I like the way that they did it in The Rise of Skywalker. Moving on to the final image we have to take a look at, Leia in BB-8, possibly Leia recording the hologram and putting it into BB-8, just like A New Hope, where R2 was there and Leia recorded the message to put into R2 to give to Obi-Wan. Would have been extremely good homage to that, and really kind of officially the baton being handed off to the sequel trilogy. Just excellent, would have been great visually. This movie could have been so visually spectacular. Very upset that we'll never ever get to see this come to fruition. Alright, but that's all the images we have. Let me know what you guys think. Do you want me to add those images into the full movie that I already published and republish it with these new images? Let me know with a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think about all these images. Which one is your favorite? Thank you guys for watching. May God bless you and the Force be with you. If you enjoyed this episode, and frankly, even if you didn't, don't forget to subscribe.
Do it.
And if you want to help spread the word, please give this video a thumbs up and tell your friends to subscribe. Please check out the official Star Wars Coffee merchandise, and don't forget to check out all of the content playlists on this channel, including The Rise of Skywalker, The Mandalorian, and much more.